Somebody said to me a little while ago that a recipe is the best gift because it's a gift that keeps on giving. Now, this chocolate Amaretti tart that we're doing this morning is my gift to you. It's a fantastic dessert for a special occasion. We start with a crust, which is made with almonds, which we're going to process in the food processor. Once we've processed it to a rough chop, we're going to take out 2 tablespoons of the chopped almonds and reserve that for a beautiful praline that we're going to sprinkle over. And the technique of making the praline is interesting, so I'm really keen to show you that. We start with the nuts. It's important to add the nuts while the machine is running, otherwise you don't get them chopping up evenly. This is the consistency that we need for the nuts. And the 2 tablespoons that we use for the praline, we'll just take out, leave them on one side for later. And then exactly the same method. We get the machine going and then we add the Amaretti biscuits while the machine is running. Now we can add the butter. Now here we have a deliciously damp, crumbly mixture with almond biscuits and raw almond. You put it into a well-buttered loose bottom pan. The pan has a loose bottom and it's lined with baking paper. Just spread the biscuit mixture in there and then you just gently work it up the sides. And now this needs to bake in the oven for 10 minutes or so. In the art of patisserie, praline is one of the finer things that one can do. Now, people are very scared of doing praline because they imagine all sorts of difficulties. It's actually very, very easy if you follow the basic rules. You have a solid saucepan, make sure it has a handle. And into that, we've already heated the saucepan. You're going to work over very high heat. And we put some ordinary white sugar in there. And just to help the melting of the sugar, we add a small amount of water to that. And the golden rule with making praline is never to stir it. All you do is you use a gentle tilt movement, or you shake the saucepan. The other thing is you need to be quite patient. You will stand there and watch this and you will see it will gently start changing color. From this see-through clear color, it'll become a golden color, a honey color, and then eventually it'll go to a darker caramel color. And only when it gets to that dark caramel color do we add the chopped nuts to it. We've also got a baking sheet prepared here with baking paper. This is a non-stick paper, very important to use the non-stick. So as soon as the praline is done to perfection, we'll pour it out onto this baking paper. We'll tilt the paper a little bit to spread it, and we'll leave it until it sets rock hard. Once it's rock hard, then we can put it into the processor and we'll chop it up. Now here's the Amaretti crust that we've baked. You can see it just got a nice golden brown color. Now it is nicer and it keeps the crust firmer if you give it a little bit of a layer of chocolate. But it's quite difficult to spread the chocolate, so we've figured out a better method. And always when you melt chocolate, put warm water, boiling water in a bowl, but the water must not touch the bowl on top. And all you do is you just leave that chocolate to sit in the bowl above it. And look, it just softens beautifully. as if you've left it on your car seat, that kind of thing. I've got a sandwich bag in this little glass. We just scrape the chocolate in there. Squish the chocolate into the one bottom corner. And now you cut the tiniest hole in the bottom. Now you just reinforce the base with a crisscross of lovely melted chocolate. Leave a little bit and we'll use that for the top of the tart. Now to make the chocolate dessert is quite straightforward. We've reduced the water, 3/4 of a cup of water, and then we've used 3 tablespoons of this lovely frangelico liqueur. Then we sprinkle the chocolate mousse over, and Janet's going to beat it for us. Now, once the chocolate mousse is beaten, we beat 1 cup of cream, fresh cream. Now, what we need to do is to check that the consistency of the cream is similar to the consistency of the mousse. You can only marry the two successfully once they are more or less on the same wavelength. Now, once the cream is in, don't go mad and stir like a maniac. Just turn the bowl and fold it in so you don't lose the fluffiness. Pour the mousse over the base. Now, instead of smoothing it out, do this. Now, we've got a bit of a dilemma. This needs to go back in the fridge so that the filling can set properly before we put the praline on. The only thing is the fridge is full of smells, and if you put this in without covering it, you are going to pick up problems. So just in order to elevate the cling film away from the tart so that we don't spoil the tart, we're going to use a nice big piece of cling film and drape it gently over the toothpicks. So now we just gently leave it in the fridge, and then when the filling is completely set, or even the next day, we can put the praline on. Now we just lift the plastic off. Now, in order to take the pie out, we stand it on an upside down mixing bowl, and we just gently ease the ring down, leave the base on, and we put it on the cake stand. Now that could be in the window of any patisserie shop in Paris, and wait until you've tasted it. I wish you were here to join me in a lovely cup of espresso and a delicious piece of Amaretti chocolate tart.